Good morning everyone. Welcome to the video. In this video, we will be discussing about a material which has brought revolution in our living style, which has replaced metals, wood, mud products, and large extently we are using this material in our daily life. That is plastic. So, how is plastic made? Who made this plastic? And how it has gained the greater importance in our daily life? We will be seeing in this video. So, what is a plastic? Plastic is a polymer like many synthetic fibers. So, polymer is the material which is used in making the plastic, and this polymer is made of small units called as monomers. So polymer, poly is many and mer is units. So many units togetherly we call it as polymer, and polymer is the material which is used in making the plastic, and these small units are called as monomers. So here monomers are arranged in two types, that is linear chain monomer arrangement and cross-linked chain arrangement. We'll see the picture of this arrangement. So here you can see linear arrangement of monomers. So here this single unit, it is called as monomer, and this complete structure is called as polymer. So here you can see each single unit monomer is arranged in a straight line. So this arrangement is called as linear arrangement of monomers. And whereas if you see this picture, you can see these monomers are arranged in cross-linked. So here plastic is made of monomers which are arranged in two types, that is linear arrangement and cross-linked arrangement of monomers. So now in this slide we'll see who is the creator of plastic. So the creator of first plastic, which was named as Parkinson, was made by Alexander Parks. Who is the creator of the first plastic? Alexander Parks, in the year 1862 in London. So in the name of Alexander Parks, the first plastic was named as Parkinson. What did he do? He soaked nitrated cotton in sulfuric acid. So coincidentally, when he soaked nitrated cotton, that means cotton which is dipped in nitric acid, and then it is in the sulfuric acid, then dipped in sulfuric acid, it has become soft and elastic. Soft and elastic material was made by adding oil and camphor. So nitrated cotton, when it was dipped in sulfuric acid, the material which was obtained was made soft by using the oil and camphor, and the end product was ivory colored material which was distorted. Distorted is which can change its shape. So this was the first step in making the plastic by Alexander Parks. Now we'll see the types of plastic, and the first type of plastic is thermoplastic. So thermoplastic was made by Hermann Staudinger. Hermann Staudinger. He was a German chemist and he developed this thermoplastic in 1920. So what actually the features of thermoplastic? Plastic which can be deformed easily on heating is thermoplastic. That means when this plastic is heated, it will easily change its shape, melt and change its shape. So the plastic which melts and deforms which will change its shape, that plastic is called as thermoplastic. Thermoplastic is made of long chain molecules. So in the previous slide we have seen the arrangement long chain and cross linked. So this thermoplastic is long chain arrangement. So as it is simple and long chain, it can be easily melted and deformed when it is heated. Now we'll see the other features. It is long chain molecules, that means monomers. It can be bent and remolded, and it can be softened and melted, and lastly it can be recycled. As it can be melted and it can easily be changed into different shapes, that is the reason this thermoplastic can be used for recycling so that it can be made into a new product. Example, you can take polythene, polyvinyl chloride, polypropylene, polystyrene. These are the different forms of thermoplastic with which toys, combs, covers, pipes, bottles, these are all made which can be recycled. So what are the products that we are using in our daily life which are made of thermoplastic? Combs, toys, plastic covers, plastic pipes, plastic bottles, these are all made of thermoplastic. Now we'll see the other type of plastic, that is thermosetting plastic. So the father of thermosetting plastic is Leo Henrik Bekeland. Leo Henrik Bekeland. So he invented thermosetting plastic in 1907, and he was a Belgian scientist. He is a Belgian scientist. He has invented this thermosetting plastic in 1907, and it was named as Bakelite. As it was invented by Bekeland, the first thermosetting plastic was named as Bakelite. So how did he invented this thermosetting plastic? So the compound of carbonic acid and formaldehyde are heated. When these two chemicals were heated, a solidified material that did not melt was formed. So that was named as Bakelite. So here you can understand the difference between thermoplastic and thermosetting plastic. So thermoplastic easily melts on heating. Maybe you have seen the plastic covers, when they come across the heat, you can see they will become melted and elastic. But thermosetting plastic will not be melted at very normal temperatures or normal heating. We'll see the features of thermosetting plastic. It is formed by cross-linked chain. So as it is cross-linked chain, it is a very hard plastic. It does not melt and cannot be remolded. So as it does not melt, we cannot recycle and reform into new shapes. Now we'll see the types of thermosetting plastic. That is melamine. Melamine is one kind of thermosetting plastic. What materials or what things are made of melamine? Kitchenware, utensils, computer, TV cabinets, and making of floor. These are the different types of things that are made by melamine, and these cannot be easily melted by heating. And the next is bakelite. So what are made of bakelite? Handles of utensils, electrical appliances, switchboard. These are the different things which are made of bakelite. So melamine and bakelite, these are the thermosetting plastic which cannot be melted and which cannot be remolded or made into different shapes after melting. Now, why do we prefer plastic? Why the plastic has replaced the metals, wood and mud? What are the advantages of plastic? So here plastic is non-reactive. Non-reactive. For example, if you take pickles, we cannot store pickles in the metal containers because pickles, for example mango pickle, they are acidic in nature and they easily react with the metal, so that the food is spoiled when they are stored in the metal containers. But you can easily store in the plastic containers. And plastic do not form rust. They do not corrode easily. Corrode is nothing but they do not become weak and powdered form like the metals. Plastic is very light, strong and durable. That means this plastic we can use for many days, many months and years. And as they can be remolded in different shapes and sizes, we can get in different shapes and sizes, and also plastic is cheaper. So these are all different qualities of plastic which made us to use plastic in our daily life. But the excess use of plastic has greater disadvantage to our mother earth, to our environment, because plastic is a non-biodegradable material. Now here biodegradable, on earth the waste that we are giving out on the into the environment is of two types: biodegradable and non-biodegradable. Biodegradable means bio waste. That means the waste that we get from the plants and animals, like vegetable waste and bones. These are all called as bio waste. These can be easily converted into soil nutrients by the microorganisms. But the disadvantage of using plastic is non-biodegradable. Plastic is non-biodegradable. That means plastic cannot be converted into compost or cannot be converted into soil nutrients by the microorganisms. That means if you throw plastic on the earth, it cannot be converted into the soil nutrients and it will be there on the earth for many number of years, due to which there are lot of disadvantages. Like plastic will not let the water into the earth. So what happens when there is rainfall? The water will not sink into the earth due to the plastic that is thrown on the ground. And also it causes air, water and soil pollution. That means though there are many advantages of plastic, but our life is in danger because of usage of plastic. That means it is understood that we have to properly and with discipline use the plastic in our daily life. So how are we going to control the usage of plastic? We will discuss in the next slide. So though plastic is very advantage, but as our life is in danger, not only our life but plants, animals, the life on the earth is in danger. So we have to control the usage of plastic. How are we going to do that? By application of 4R principle. 4R principle. So what are those 4 R's? Reduce, reuse, recycle, recover. Reduce, reuse, recycle, recover. So in detail we will see about these 4 R's. First, reduce. So the first thing, which is the easiest method to control the usage of plastic, is reduce. So we have to stop using use and throw material. Nowadays, if we just remember our childhood, we used to get only one pen and change the refills. But nowadays we have got use and throw pens. That means once the refill is over, we will be throwing the pen which is made of plastic. So instead of using the use and throw material, we have to use other material. So use and throw material like plastic pens, plastic glasses, plastic plates, plastic covers, plastic spoons. Instead of using these which are made of plastic, we can use metal pens and change the refills as they are finished, steel glasses, spoons, plates, and carry a cloth bag. So here for application of 4R principle is very essential in the present day, because if we want to continue to live on the earth, we have to control the usage of plastic, and the best method to control the plastic is reducing the usage of plastic products. So in place of plastic products, we can use the glasses, spoons, plates which are made of steel, so that we can control the usage of plastic. And then we can also use paper cups and paper plates. So paper cups and paper plates, paper is a biodegradable material. That means if you throw this on the earth, it in few months or years it will be converted into soil nutrients by the microorganisms, where plastic cannot be degraded. That is the reason we can replace the plastic by using paper cups and paper plates. So in this way you can reduce the usage of plastic. That is first R. And coming to the next one, reuse. Reuse. So here plastic bags can be reused again and again. For example, if you are going to the market, vegetable market, or if you are going to any shop, instead of getting the polythene covers from the shop and from the vegetable market, you can carry a cloth bag, or you can use the polythene cover again and again, so that you can control the, or you can reduce the polythene cover, usage of polythene covers. And next, use of plastic boxes and bottles again and again. So by doing this, by reusing the plastic material, you can control the plastic usage. And the next important R to control the plastic is recycle. So maybe you have seen few people collecting the plastic material from our houses, from the roads, and so where is this material going? It is taken for recycling. So what is meant by recycle? Recycle is nothing but the plastic that is collected from the houses and from the roads and from different places will be melted, and then again it is made into the new material, and again it comes to us. So the process of melting the plastic waste and making into new products, it is called as a recycle. So in previous slides which we have seen which plastic can be recycled, that is thermoplastic. Thermoplastic can be melted and recycled according to the recycling codes. In the next slide we will see the recycling code. So here this is the symbol of universal recycling code. So if you carefully observe this symbol, these are the arrow marks which are in a rotating motion. That means you can use it, recycle, and again we can reuse it. So here this is the universal recycling symbol. So what are recycled? The plastic items like bottles, covers that are collected from the houses, hospital plastic waste which is collected from the hospitals, these can be recycled. So here, so what is recycling? Recycling can be used to obtain materials which the original products were made. So by recycling process, the material can be melted and again can be made into new products. So here we will see the recycling codes. So these recycling codes are useful to separate the plastic according to the material used in making those products. So here we'll see the recycling codes. So the first is polyethylene terephthalate. In short form it is called as PET or PETE. It is code 1. Code 1. So PET material, PET material is used in packing covers like water, juices, oil, shampoo, bottles. So whatever the plastic waste that we are throwing, first it is segregated or it is separated according to the recycling code. So if you carefully see the things, bottle, or if you see the things, you will see the universal recycling symbol. In that the number will be written. So if we on the plastic bottle, in that recycling symbol 1 is written, that means it is polyethylene terephthalate. So according to the number, the plastic waste that we are throwing is separated. Next it is code 2. Code 2 is high density polyethylene, HDPE, high density polyethylene. So shampoo bottles, toys, chemical containers, pipe system, milk mugs, these are all made of HDPE, that is high density polyethylene. That means if you see shampoo bottles, what will be written on that shampoo bottle in the universal recycling symbol? 2. Code 2 will be written. So if 2 is written, all the code 2 material will be separated. The code 3 is polyvinyl chloride, PVC. So here pipes and boots, these are made of polyvinyl chloride. So here on these materials, pipes and boots, it will be written as number 3. So according to the number, all the 3 material will be separated. Next, code 4. Code 4 is low density polyethylene, LDPE. So toys, grocery bags, packing material, these are made of low density polyethylene. So on toys and grocery bags, code 4 number will be written. And then it is code 5, polypropylene, PP, polypropylene. So what are made of polypropylene? Propylene, plastic bottle caps, lunch box, syrup bottles. So when you carefully observe these bottles, syrup bottles or plastic bottle cap, in the universal recycling symbol 5 will be written, 5. So all these 5s will be separated. And the next is code 6, polystyrene, and plastic dinnerware, plastic cutlery, that means plastic knives, these are made of polystyrene, which is code 6. So these are the recycling codes which will be helping us in separating the plastic waste that we are throwing daily. And the last 4 and important that we have to take care is recover. So what do you mean by recover? Recover means converting plastic waste into other forms like electricity, heat, compost and fuel. Compost is nothing but fertilizers. So converting the plastic into different forms of materials that we can use again, like electricity, heat, compost and fuels, energies. This is called as recover. How are we going to convert them? By thermal and biological means. By thermal, that means by heating, and biological. Biological means here microorganisms play a very important role in converting the waste. That means not the plastic waste, but the bio waste that we are throwing will be converted here. So that is by solid waste management. So electrical waste, plastic waste by thermal process, and bio waste by biological process, that is solid waste management. So recover means converting plastic into other forms like electricity, heat, compost and fuel through thermal, and bio waste through biological means is called as solid waste management. So Supreme Court gave the order to all the cities to implement solid waste management. Now we will see few pictures where how this solid waste management is done. Do you remember these two tubs that we see in our houses? This is green one and blue one. Nowadays every house have these two tubs, plastic tubs, which are distributed by the municipal employees. This green, here it is written as wet waste. Wet waste means the biodegradable waste. What is that biodegradable waste? Bio waste, that means vegetable waste, papers, so and animal waste, that means bones, all should be thrown here in the wet waste, and polythene waste should be thrown in the dry waste box. So the first step to separate the waste should be started from our house. So here you have to think, everyone have to think, are we playing a role in saving our mother earth, in saving our environment? So here the first step should be led by us. That means in the house itself, the primary separation of the waste should be done by throwing the bio waste in a green tub and plastic waste in the dry tub. Here everyone in the cities, at every place, even in the villages, on the side of the roads, you can see these two tubs or these two cans where the waste should be thrown. So here again two colors, wet waste and dry waste. So whenever it is our primary responsibility as a citizen should to not to throw the waste on the roads. First, it should be thrown in these cans or tubs that are placed, that are provided for us by the municipality. That is the first step. First, throwing the waste in these tubs. And the next waste is, we have to understand the difference between degradable and biodegradable and throw accordingly. So, degradable material like fruits, fruit waste, vegetables, and animal waste should be thrown in the wet waste, and the polythene waste should be thrown in the dry waste. Now, municipality, after separating the waste, so here the plastic waste you can see, this is called as landfill. Here again the plastic waste is separated according to the recycling codes. So you can see here the paper waste, glass waste, plastic waste, metal waste. So in this way, the waste that we are throwing out from the houses, from the office, from the hospitals and different places will be first separated in this manner. What happens after throwing the waste? So here you can see two bins. So first step in our house itself, we are separating it into wet waste and dry waste, and this is collected by the people. And the wet waste, that means the vegetable waste, fruits waste, animal waste, that will be taken for that means decomposition by the microorganisms, and it will be converted into manure or compost that we can use in our agriculture. And the next is recycling waste. It will be separated according to the recycling codes, and then it will be recycled. And the final material that cannot be recycled will be thrown in the landfill. And also it is converted into energy, that means electricity here you can see, and some of the plastic waste also is taken for the cement in preparing the cement. So in this way 4 R's are used in controlling the plastic waste. And here after discussion you might have understood that the controlling of plastic waste is mostly in our hands, So application of 4R, that is reduce, reuse, recycle, recover. So all these 4 R's is the responsibility of every citizen on the earth, because if we want to continue to live on the earth, we have to follow this 4R. That is, we have to reduce the usage of plastic, we have to reuse the usage of plastic, we have to recycle. That means according to the recycling codes, we have to recycle the plastic waste, and finally recover. That means the first, from the house itself, we have to separate the waste into plastic waste and bio waste, and accordingly we have to play an important role in solid waste management, through which bio waste can be converted into compost or manures, and plastic waste can be converted into can be recycled, and few of the plastic can be converted into thermal energy and electrical energy. So in this way, though plastic has many advantages but also have disadvantages, and those disadvantages should be controlled by us, so that we can use the plastic very easily in our daily life. Thank you. ఏదే ప్లే అయితే లేదు, ఎక్కడ ప్లే అయితే లేదు మరి.